everybody, how the devil? It's Sunday, this is the BBC Spews, and I am your host, the perpetually Angry Bootneck. Why did it do this to me? Before I get started on Priyanka Chopra's soul-destroying lockdown, it's time to shill my channel. By popular demand, here it is. I've put up a Subscribestar account. Huzzah, you lucky devils. I'll never make my content behind a paywall because I think it's a public service to inject some humour into our dull and dreary lives. However, if you're throwing money at some loser who wastes his money on material possessions, paying bills, or feeding and educating children, you might as well take your bread from their hands, their grasping, greedy fingers, and at least put it to good use with someone who's guaranteed to spend it on wine, women and song. I think I'll add a Discord or something as well so we can have a chat properly. But yeah, don't worry, if you're a tight fucker, nothing I make is going behind a paywall. So let's get down to business. I'm including this one because I couldn't help but laugh. I pissed myself laughing at the nonsense. It's always the most privileged people who feel upset, isn't it? They'll tell the crusty, homeless, one-legged tramp that he's privileged because he happens to be white. He's got nothing, his wife's left him, his kids don't talk to him, he has to gobble off 4 or 5 men a night just to feed his heroin addiction, but he's the lucky one. Poor old Priyanka and her millionaire actress chums, they're the ones we really need to worry about. Let's see what she has to say, shall we?
Hi BBC News, this is Priyanka. It was something I was afraid of, something I wanted to attempt, honestly. And for me, it was very cathartic, healing.
Afraid? I was afraid of it. I'll tell you what I'm afraid of. Burly labourers armed with the tools of their trade who haven't been able to get in the pub for 12 months. I'm scared of them. ISIS, they're pretty scary. I'm definitely not scared of sitting in a castle writing a book.
Almost. I've had such a crazy sort of life with, multiple continents that I work in, that when I was home for 6 months, I had the ability to really dig deep and...
It's just endless metaphors, isn't it? Oh, I've had such a crazy life. What? Being an actor and getting paid far more money than you're worth for not really working for a living. Yeah, crazy. I'll tell you what's crazy. Living off spam fritters and turkey dinosaurs in a sink estate and seeing prostitutes shitting up against the side of your school. That's fucking crazy. This isn't. This is luxury and privilege, you necky bint.
Think about what I was writing and the tone that I wanted. And
what was the hardest chapter for you to write, would you say?
My childhood, mostly, because memories are a funny thing. You don't remember things correctly, but when I was a kid and going to boarding school.
Because you're privileged and you went to boarding school. Let me tell you, if like so many Indians, you were cramming 600 to a carriage and avoiding gang rape on the way to school, then you'd fucking remember it, yeah? That'd be burned in your memory until the end of time. But because you're a spoiled twat and you spent your whole life in privilege and you went to boarding school, it's all a blur. It's all a blur. When you live in luxury, things are a blur. You have that luxury. I saw a smackhead get savaged by a police dog on my front garden when I was a child. Never forgot it.
How that felt. All of that, going back so far back into that, was hardest for me. It doesn't feel real. I'm just a girl who goes to work doing my job. It's not an easy job.
I can't go on. I could just rip the whole thing to bits. It's not an easy job being in the public eye. I'll tell you what's not an easy job. Bricklayer, scaffolder, bus driver, jizz mopper in an adult movie theatre. They're not easy jobs. That is an easy fucking job. I will trade places with you in an instant, you gobby tart. Please stop with the sob story. Nobody fucking cares. Ooh, what's this? Harry Styles' secret fashion weapon? Shall we look at this out of morbid curiosity?
Hi, my name is Harris Reed. I'm a gender fluid fashion designer and I live in London, England.
He is a fucking weapon. Oh no, I may have misgendered there. Accidental. It is hard to get your head round. Complete gobbledygook in my defence, right? And now big brands like MAC want to collaborate with them. With them? They're just butchering the English language. If you have any respect for the English language, this type of stuff should upset you. Like, I'm not against any grown adult living the life however they want to see fit. If Harris Reid wants to be a gopping, ginger, waistcoated man-woman, I support Harris Reid's right to do that unmolested, right? But please stop butchering our beautiful, delicate language. Please. And I'm aware of the irony coming from a northern monkey like myself, but you are killing it. Them is the star. What the fuck are you talking about? And Harry Styles, look at the fucking clip of him. What is that he's wearing? That's like my nana at a funeral. Fuck me. Right, I wish I hadn't clicked that. Let's move on. Commercial TV channels unite to screen COVID vaccine myth-busting video. A star-filled video urging people from ethnic minority communities to get the COVID vaccine will be shown across the UK's main commercial TV channels later. Sanjeev Bhaskar, Meera Syal and Ramesh Ranganathan are among the celebrities who feature in the video, which has previously been released online. Adil Rao, who coordinated the video, said, "We are in unprecedented times and the fact remains this pandemic disproportionately affects people from ethnic minority communities." Yes, because you did this to them. It was you, lefty activists. You did this. Official figures suggest that people from ethnic minorities are less likely to get vaccinated. We know this, and I've told you. You know why we know this? Because they're happy to tell us. They're happy to say, I don't trust the NHS, I don't trust the government, I don't trust the institutions and the establishments that we made to keep us all safe. I don't trust Whitey. Because communists have convinced them and embarked on an unprecedented brainwashing campaign to fill people's heads with absolute Shiite and convince them that everyone's against them. You did this. They don't want to get a vaccine because of people like Ramesh Ranganathan and his mother and these twats stood next to him. It's not anybody else's fault. You've done this. It's the same with getting rid of Trump, emboldening a bunch of insane, violent yobbos just to make cheap political points, calling everyone a neo-Nazi and a fascist when you know for a fact they aren't neo-Nazis and fascists. Pathologise the generation, and we've now got terrified, paranoid, scared, depressed, mentally ill people roaming the fucking streets in gangs because you did this to them. None of this would be required if the left had a shred of dignity and integrity and hadn't spent the last fucking 5 years gleefully flinging shit at everyone. Their fault this is happening. So I'm really sorry if you are from an ethnic group and your neighbours and friends are paranoid about vaccines, you're going to have to talk them into it yourself. But just be aware, the left did this. He admits it as well, look. He said, it feels heartbreaking to me that people from ethnic minorities are inflicting a degree of separation upon themselves and not trusting in this. And I understand all the reasons why. Because of fucking you. You made all the reasons why. You told them all, the NHS is racist. Everybody's racist. The government's racist. Everybody's evil. Whitey wants you all to die in a fire. Good job for convincing your own fucking mother. Now try and convince the rest of the country that we don't live in a fucking multinational neo-Nazi superstate, you balmy bastard. Yeah? Good luck with that. 5 years pathologising these people. Good fucking luck undoing it now. Jesus wept. They are so myopic, these people. Politicians as well. I can almost forgive the lefty activists, but it's the politicians that really want hauling over the coals for this shit. This is a good one because I can once again invoke Bootneck's law, right? If the BBC asks you a question, the answer is always no. Once again, I think it stands up. Texas weather. Are frozen wind turbines to blame for power cuts? No. I haven't even read this fucking story yet. I just like the headline because I know for a fact, from general knowledge, that wind turbines are about as much use as a nun's tits. What do they do? Nothing. If you think you can power the world with wind turbines, you probably also think mathematics is just a social construct. Yeah, probably think that. It isn't. It says as freezing temperatures grip the southern United States, there have been major power failures across Texas as increased demand for heating has overwhelmed the energy grid. Supplies of both electricity and gas have been intermittent, with the authorities saying they need to safely manage the balance of supply and demand to avoid another major power cut. I wonder if maybe banning fracking and maybe stopping the United States being energy independent, Joe, I wonder if that might be a reason why. Maybe. Republicans have blamed green energy policies. Well, fucking la-di-da. It's the same in Germany. They got rid of nuclear power plants, which we know for a fact work and are safe, right? The Fukushima disaster, that was one of the oldest plants on the entire grid. It was built fucking decades ago. There was an enormous earthquake and resulting tsunami, and it still didn't completely melt down. So if that's not proof that the fucking things are safe, I don't know what is. If you build one in Slough, what's the worst thing that's going to happen to it? It's not rocket science. Nuclear power is safe and it works. Build some more nuclear power plants. The Germans are pulling them down and replacing them with coal. The Green lobby are so short-sighted it beggars belief. Yeah, Tucker Carlson said it was all working great until the day got cold outside. They might look nice, they won't keep the lights on. We've known this. People in the know, people that aren't ideologically fucking indoctrinated, have been in the know about this for decades. We need nuclear. Wind turbines ain't gonna cut it. So are frozen wind turbines to blame for power cuts? No. Lefty, do-gooder fuckwits like Greta and her lefty do-gooder parents, they are to blame for power cuts. Right? Right. BBC Women's Hour accused of hostile interview with... This is a cracker. Oop, I don't even like to say the M-word. I'll have to bleep that out later. You get in trouble if you say the M-word. This is 1984 after all. If you practice wrong thing or wrong speech, you get in trouble. So don't say that. From now on, I shall omit it. A BBC Radio 4 Women's Hour interview with the first woman to lead the Tolerant Council of Britain has been criticised for being strikingly hostile. More than 100 politicians, writers and prominent figures have signed an open letter complaining about Zara's mistreatment on the show. Mistreatment. Jordan Peterson getting his fucking testicles nailed to the table by Kathy Bastard Newman. Well, she didn't manage it because he did such a good account of himself. But that is a hostile interview. That's mistreatment. This trifling questioning about objective facts and common sense doesn't amount to anything like mistreatment. It said host Emma Barnett appeared intent on reinforcing damaging and prejudicial tropes. Listen. Go watch it, I'll put it in the description. All she did was ask her common sense issues, usually related to women's issues, because we know for a 100% fact that there is one specific ideology on planet Earth that is demonstrably, openly, and proudly sticking dogmatically to somewhat ancient beliefs about men and women. That is the most politically correct way I can put it, desperately tiptoeing around the subject so I don't get banned for wrong thing. But seriously, go and ask them. Don't listen to me, ask them. Go and ask Ayatollah Sistani, Ayatollah Khomeini, Mullah Dadullah, Muqtada al-Sadr. I'm running out of clerics that I know the names of. He was one when I was in Iraq. Go and ask them what they think about things like women telling the husband to fuck off. Women going for a drive in a Ferrari, wearing a bikini on the way to work, eating a bacon sandwich. Go and ask them what they think of that and get back to me. This whole thing is a charade. You know it, I know it, and the vast majority of westernised, secular practitioners of said religion know the crack. That's why they like it here so much. They're happy here, they're not happy there. Especially the women. You know, I seen an interview years ago with there was like 5 men and 5 women, and they're asking them if they thought Britain was a good, tolerant country for them. And the women were all like, yeah. The men less so, because they don't have as much to lose, do they? But this type of thing is insane. It's just more examples of wrong thing, wrong speak, censorship, open lies and denial from the mainstream media. That one particular faith is inherently prejudicial towards women in ways that any educated, secular, agnostic woman in the West is probably horrified about. I don't make the rules. I think women should be allowed to drive, educate, wear what they like, eat what they like. I don't make the rules. It's a demonstrable fact. Look it up. Just a total bunch of nonsense. And the fact that hundreds of well-known people criticised this woman for for doing a job just shows how much trouble we're in. Because as the old saying goes, if you want to know who really runs the world, is the power behind your society that you live in, look at the one group of people that you're not allowed to criticise. Is it straight white men or is it somebody else? Let's move on, shall we? Right, long COVID. Listen, I'm going to make this one easy, right? The story is, MPs call for compensation for key workers. Boris Johnson's facing fresh calls to compensate key workers suffering from long COVID. A total of 65 MPs and peers have signed a letter to the PM asking for it to be recognised as an occupational disease. Layla Moran, who chairs a committee of MPs looking into it, said the government should not abandon the true heroes of the pandemic, and the government said it will invest 18 million in 4 studies looking at the long-term effects of COVID. Long COVID, right, is almost impossible to accurately diagnose. It's right up there with like ME, yuppie flu, seasonal affective disorder, and the new flavour of the month for fat, lazy, career welfare recipients who usually dwell in council estates in Middlesbrough, depression or PTSD. PTSD from watching fucking The Hurt Locker on Netflix. Like, I shit you not, it is the most overdiagnosed ailment in modern history. Because when you can't prove with objective evidence that you have an ailment, in a country like Britain, where you are financially encouraged, financially incentivized to take the piss massively, people will gleefully take the piss massively. And I'm very concerned about the taxpayers once again not getting value for money from our government, because they will throw money willy-nilly at people that have paid less income tax than Mohammed Al-Fayed. I'm seriously sceptical. They should look at the backgrounds of these people and say, whoa, hang on, out of the last 10 years, he's spent 8 years on benefits. Sorry, I don't believe you've got long COVID. Here's a hod. Go and carry some fucking bricks. It'll do you good, you lazy bastard. Again, call me a wanker if you like. I'm from a fucking rough northern town, and every pub I have drank in, the locals have known the sizable group of chancers in there who can't work, won't work, scum begets scum begets scum. 37-year-old grandmothers who do less work than the ship's cat. I've seen them all, I've met them all. I know these people, I can smell me own. Throwing money at anyone who says they've got long COVID is a fucking terrible idea. We need to incentivise people to get back to work, not sit on the fat ass, eating cookie dough off the belly and watching TV. It is not good for them, it is not good for me, it is not good for you, the taxpayer. Let's get it squared away, shall we? Fucking long COVID. The Liberal Democrats said they should receive regular monthly payments. Oh yeah. I don't see a few million people suddenly developing the symptoms, do you? Christ, Mick Philpott set his own children on fire to guarantee his benefits for a bit longer. You don't think he'd have been happy to go around licking a few doorknobs? Christ almighty, they are so short-sighted, these people, it staggers me. No money for long COVID, seriously. If you're one of the very rare ones who's been fucked with it for 6 months, I do sympathise. But in general, we should either have very stringent requirements for people to qualify for payments, or we should cap it 3 months or something. We really need to get a grip of the payments that we're sending to people as a result of this pandemic, because none of us are going to be laughing if we go fucking bankrupt off the back of it. And Rishi Sunak spends like a drunk sailor on shore leave in Vegas. It is unbelievable how much money our fiscally conservative fucking government is. Christ, I don't think Jezza would have been pulling pound coins out of his arsehole as fast as Rishi has been, and he's supposed to be a communist. It's unbelievable. COVID, Boris Johnson wants to focus on data, not dates. Well, I don't. Boris, I don't. We've been under this illegal, and it is illegal, but common sense says it's illegal. These twats can change the laws on a whim, but it's not right. Just because they're fucking... It's the rule of lawyers, not the rule of law. Just because they change the fucking laws on a whim doesn't mean it's ethical, moral, or right. They can shove it firmly up their collective dirt boxes. I'm not having it. You cannot lock healthy people inside for months at a time just because you're worrying about the tiny fraction of people over the age of about 85 who are at genuinely high risk of death from an illness. It's unbelievable. It's unprecedented. It's unhealthy. I'm running out of uns. It's unusually fucking dog shit. Boris, you stupid spineless albino jellyfish. Let me out. I want to go to the pub. Look at him. Fat, no-necked, watery-eyed sack of rats that he is. I hate Boris Johnson. Open the pub right now, Boris. Do us all a favour. Absolute chopper. They keep moving the goalposts as well. We've 16 million people have been vaccinated now. Move the goalposts. Remember, how much was I gobbing off about it a year ago? Saying this is bullshit. Ha ha, I can't believe you think it's going to be 2 weeks to save the NHS. How right have I been proven? They just keep moving the goalposts, and if we don't whinge about it and go apeshit about it now, they'll move them again. Oh, when we get 30 million people vaccinated, you can open the pubs. When we get 40 million people vaccinated, you can open the pubs. When every single person in the entire country walks around looking like a fucking scuba diver, then we'll open the pubs. I don't know where they're going to go from there. When we empty the entire planet of flora and fauna, fire everyone off to a fucking moon rock, and the planet Earth is barren and desolate, then we'll open the pubs. It will never end. We seriously need to all be en masse letting our MPs know the crack. This shit has gone on far too long. Far too long. They've vaccinated all the old people now. Everyone over the age of 65 who needs one has had one. Let us out, you fucking weasel. You walking abortion. Open the pubs. I'll do one more. Black and LGBT Edinburgh University students attacked in Zoom meeting, right? Again, you know I've talked about how it's staggering to me that Marcus Rashford was the last good example. People being rude on the internet somehow warrants it being a fucking news story paid for by the national broadcaster of the whole UK, taxpayer funded, somehow warrants a story if the people involved happen to tick any fucking identity politics boxes. Just think about it. The internet is an open forum with literally billions of people. I'm not overusing literally. I told you I'd stop because it really annoys me. Literally billions. Like 70% of planet Earth is on the internet, and someone's rude and they go, fucking hell, this is news. It isn't. It isn't news. Someone is rude on the internet isn't fucking news. The day someone mails Marcus Rashford a finger in a shoebox, maybe then I'll take notice, yeah? If the black and LGBT students of Edinburgh University open the Students' Union one day and somebody's nailed a head to the bar, then I'll take notice. But being rude on the internet is as common as flies around cow shit. It is not news. It's not news. Stop telling us. We don't care. White blokes get insulted on internet. Would that be a story? As a celebration of black and LGBT culture has been hijacked on Zoom, the University Student Union event was interrupted by slurs, the chanting of homophobic slogans and pornography. About 50 people were given a link to join, but it was not password protected. One speaker was reduced to tears. Fucking hell. So the dumb bastards sent out a public fucking link and didn't password protect the meeting room, so young kids and anybody else who got the chance dutifully done what you would expect them to do and be immature and send porn and start calling people names and generally acting like arseholes. That is not news. That probably happens every minute of every day. Someone is being abused, sent pornography, insulted. It's trivial, it's childish, it's trite, but it's not news. It is many things, but it ain't fucking news. You might as well tell me that the birds were singing this morning. I know, we know that people are cunts on the internet. It's not news, and it never will be, no matter what colour you happen to be, what you stick your cock in, or where you happen to come from. Right? What a pile of shit, as usual, from the BBC. Identity politics, outright communism, climate hysteria, and a complete lack of logic, common sense, or fucking basic mental acuity. No wonder I'm so angry. I don't pay the licence fee and I still feel ripped off reading the fucking website. I feel like I've been robbed. Something's been taken from me. It's like the Director General's just broke in, snapped off a foot of brown cable on my rug, emptied the contents of my fridge, and then set the hand towel on fire in my bathroom. What a wanker. Just awful. There is nothing good on the BBC website. The BBC should be defunded and reduced to rubble. If you are still paying your licence fee, do yourself a favour, don't. Don't. It's worth getting rid of your TV. You don't need to watch live broadcasts anyway. They will never get another penny out of me, I so solemnly swear it. Anyway, that's it for this week. That was the BBC Spews. I remain the very Angry Bootneck. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Cheers.